The billionaire's mute daughter stopped crying when a janitor handed her this one strange thing. Nobody noticed the janitor. He pushed his cleaning cart across the glossy marble lobby like he was trying not to exist. Head down, hoodie pulled low. Just another invisible worker in a glass tower full of power suits and billion-dollar deals. But what nobody knew was this man, Jordan Blackwell, was about to change everything. And it started with a little girl everyone was terrified of, Tessa Pierce. Before we continue, please tell us, where in the world are you tunning in from? And if you believe that stories of kindness, everyday miracles, and ordinary people deserve to be shared even further, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any journey like this one. The billionaire CEO's daughter. Once the sunshine of Pierce Dynamics, now she was a ghost haunting the 30th floor. She didn't talk, didn't smile, didn't let anyone touch her. 8 nannies quit. Therapists gave up. One doctor suggested hospitalization, and when anyone tried to comfort her, she screamed like the world was ending. Until one random afternoon, Jordan was mopping near the executive elevators when he heard it, a soft, shaky sob behind a marble pillar. Not loud, not dramatic, just broken. He froze. Janitors weren't supposed to interfere. This was the corporate elite zone. HR would chew him up for stepping out of line. But that cry hit him right in the chest. It sounded like his son. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe and return to our channel for more life-changing, emotional, and heartwarming stories. He quietly rolled the mop aside and walked toward the sound. Behind the pillar, the girl sat curled into herself, hoodie pulled over her head, clutching a worn-out doll like it was her last lifeline. Jordan didn't say a word. He didn't touch her. He just knelt down slowly, like he was approaching a scared animal, and reached into his pocket. From a tiny cloth pouch, he pulled out something small and clumsy, a handmade teddy bear with uneven ears and crooked stitching. He placed it halfway between them. Then he leaned back and waited. No talking, no pressure, no fake therapist voice, just silence. A minute passed, then another. The girl slowly lifted her head, eyes swollen, lashes clumped with tears. She stared at the bear, then at him. Jordan gave a tiny nod. That's it. She crawled forward and grabbed the bear like it was a life raft. She pressed it to her chest. And just like that, she stopped crying. No screaming, no panic. Just breathing. Up on the 30th floor, her mother, Eleanor Pierce, watched the security footage in shock, tears spilling onto her keyboard. 9 experts failed, but a random janitor with a janky teddy bear. Miracle. 3 months earlier, Eleanor Pierce had controlled everything. She ran a $3.2 billion biotech empire, negotiated with governments, fired CEOs with a single email, but she couldn't save her own child. Her husband died in a private jet crash. Tessa shut down overnight. The girl who used to draw pictures of mommy, daddy, and me became silent, cold, unreachable. And now the board was whispering. Stock was dipping. Contracts were slipping. Investors were asking if she'd lost her edge. But none of that hurt like watching her daughter disappear. And while Eleanor was falling apart in a penthouse office, Jordan Blackwell was waking up in a tiny Queens apartment with photos of his dead son taped to the wall. He used to be a preschool teacher, a goofy dad, the guy who made handmade toys and told bedtime stories. Then a car accident took his kid. His wife vanished afterward, and Jordan chose to disappear from the world. So he became a janitor, because nobody looks at janitors. But fate just made him look at one little girl. And now, he might be the only person who can pull her back from the dark. But who really is Jordan Blackwell? And what secret from his past will shock the billionaire CEO when she investigates him? Eleanor Pierce didn't sleep that night. She sat in her glass office replaying the footage again and again. The janitor kneeling beside her daughter, not saying a single word, just handing her that weird little teddy bear. No therapy technique, no psychology trick, just presence, and somehow it worked. At 6 a.m. she called HR. "I want everything on the janitor from the 30th floor. Name, background, history. All of it." An hour later, a digital file popped onto her screen. Jordan Blackwell, age 38, former preschool teacher, education, early childhood development. Then came the line that made her pause, reason for leaving. Not disclosed. A teacher turned janitor. Yeah, that didn't add up. She forwarded the file to a private investigator. "Dig deeper," she typed. "I want the whole story." Meanwhile, Jordan had no clue his life was about to be dissected. He sat on the subway staring at the photos on his phone. His son's goofy smile, the missing front tooth, the Lego castles, the bedtime stories. He opened his worn cloth pouch, his secret treasure chest. Inside were tiny handmade toys. A stitched rabbit, a wooden car, a patched bear. He made one every night. Not for kids, for Ethan, or at least for the ghost of him. Back at Pierce Dynamics, something wild happened. Tessa walked out of her private room. No screaming. No tantrum. Just her hoodie, her doll, and the crooked teddy bear in her arms. She didn't take the elevator, still scared of closed spaces. She walked down the stairs, step by shaky step, like she was crossing a minefield. Employees froze when they saw her. The mute billionaire kid walking through the lobby like a normal child. People whispered like they'd just seen a unicorn. She found Jordan in the lounge wiping tables. He turned around. They locked eyes. For 3 seconds nobody moved. Then she walked over and sat on the floor 3 steps away from him. Jordan didn't freak out, didn't smile too big, didn't talk. He just sat down too. From his pocket he pulled out a bottle cap and placed it between them. "Once upon a time," he said quietly, "there was a tiny bottle cap nobody wanted." Her eyes widened. She whispered, barely audible, "Why?" Jordan paused. "Because people thought it was useless, but it knew a secret." She leaned forward. "What secret?" "That worth ain't about what people think, it's about what you think about yourself." She hugged the bear tighter. "Was it sad?" He nodded slowly. "Yeah, real sad, but then it met a friend." She looked up at him. "Are you sad?" Jordan swallowed. "Sometimes I lost someone important." Her voice cracked. "I lost my dad too." For a second the whole world disappeared. Two broken humans, one small, one grown, same pain, same silence. That evening Alina watched everything on the security feed. Her daughter was talking, not to doctors, not to her, to the janitor. And that scared her, and saved her at the same time. But when Alina's private investigator uncovers Jordan's tragic past, including the accident that destroyed his family, she'll realize this janitor isn't just helping her daughter, he's reliving his worst nightmare. The report arrived at 9:17 a.m. Alina Pierce stared at the blinking notification like it was a bomb about to go off. Jordan Blackwell, full background investigation. She hesitated, then clicked. The first few lines were boring: education, employment history, addresses. Then she hit the part that made her breath hitch. Son, Ethan Blackwell. Age at death, 5. Cause, vehicle collision. Her fingers trembled as she scrolled. 6 years ago, a truck ran a red light. Jordan's wife, Sarah, was driving their son home from school. The crash destroyed the front of the car. Sarah survived with injuries. Ethan didn't. 3 hours in the ER. Flatline. Jordan collapsed in the hospital hallway. Then the report got worse. Sarah spiraled into depression, psychiatric admissions, suicide risk. Then one day she vanished, left a note, never found. Jordan quit teaching, sold the apartment, disappeared into low-wage jobs, became a janitor. Neighbors said he sat in parks watching kids play but never approached them. Subject shows signs of unresolved grief and chronic trauma. Alina closed the laptop and covered her mouth. This wasn't just some random janitor with a soft heart. This was a father who lost everything, and now he was bonding with her daughter. Was that healthy or dangerous? That afternoon, she called him to her office. Jordan walked in stiff, hands folded like he was about to get fired. "You used to be a teacher," Alina said. "Yes, ma'am. You quit." "Yes." "Why?" He stared at the floor. "That's personal." She slid the file across the desk. "I know about Ethan." His knuckles went white. "I lost my husband in a crash," she continued quietly. "3 months ago." He finally looked up. "I'm sorry," he said. She nodded, voice shaking. "My daughter lost her father. You lost your son, that's why you understand her, right?" He took a long breath. "Yeah." They sat there, two strangers connected by grief. "I want you to keep helping her," Alina said. Jordan blinked. "As a janitor, as a friend. Someone she trusts. I'll pay you whatever you want." He shook his head. "This ain't about money." "Then what is it about?" He glanced through the glass wall at Tessa sitting in the lounge, quietly drawing with her crooked teddy bear. "Maybe this is how my kid would want me to keep going," he said. Alina felt her chest crack. Later that week, Tessa asked him something unexpected. "Mr. Jordan, did you have a kid?" He froze. "Yeah," he whispered. "Where is he?" "He's not here anymore." She thought for a moment, then placed her tiny hand on his arm. "Are you sad? Every day." "Me too." They sat there in silence, holding onto each other's pain like it was something sacred. But the building wasn't as warm as that quiet moment. Employees started whispering. The CEO hired a janitor to babysit her kid. Sounds sketchy. Dude probably got some issues. The board called an emergency meeting. "This is reckless," one director snapped. "He's not certified. He's traumatized. This is a legal nightmare." Alina slammed her hand on the table. "My daughter hasn't spoken in 3 months. He made her talk in 3 days. You call that reckless? I call that a miracle." And that's when the media found out. A headline exploded online. "Billionaire CEO hires janitor to care for daughter, compassion or breakdown." Social media went insane. Some praised her. Others called Jordan a predator. And then, an anonymous complaint hit the police. Two detectives will walk into Pierce Dynamics and demand to question Jordan about his relationship with the billionaire's daughter, while Tessa clings to him, terrified they'll take him away forever. The cafe went dead silent when the two cops walked in. Not the casual, "we're just grabbing coffee" type of cops. These dudes had that serious, no-nonsense energy that makes everyone shut up real quick. "Mr. Jordan Blackwell?" one of them asked. Jordan turned slowly, heart pounding. "Yeah, that's me. We need to ask you a few questions." Tessa's fingers tightened around his sleeve. Her eyes widened like a storm cloud about to break. "Who are they?" she whispered. Jordan crouched down, trying to keep his voice calm. "Just some guys who want to talk, kiddo. I'm not going anywhere, okay?" But she wasn't buying it. "They took my dad away," she whispered, voice shaking. "They'll take you too." The words hit him like a punch to the gut. He knelt fully so they were eye level. Hey, I ain't leaving, promise." But the officers stepped closer. "Sir, we just need a quick statement downtown. It won't take long." That's when Alina Pierce stormed into the cafe like a hurricane in heels. "What the hell is going on?" she demanded. One officer turned. "Mrs. Pierce, we received a complaint regarding Mr. Blackwell's interactions with your daughter. We need to verify." "Verify what?" Alina snapped, stepping between Jordan and Tessa like a shield. "He works for me. If you want him, you talk to my legal team." "Ma'am, we're just doing our job." "And I'm doing mine," she shot back. "Protecting my employee. You don't have a warrant. So back off." The room was tense enough to snap glass. After a long pause, the officers exchanged looks. "We'll follow up," one muttered. Then they turned and walked out. Tessa buried her face in Jordan's chest, shaking. "Don't go," he held her gently. I'm right here, kid. Ain't nobody taking me. That night, Jordan couldn't sleep. He went to Alina's office after hours, his voice tight. I think I should quit. She looked up from her laptop. No, I'm causing trouble. They're digging into my past, about Ethan, about Sarah. They'll twist it, make me look like some psycho. She stood up. Let them dig. You don't get it. The internet doesn't care about context. They'll destroy me and your daughter with me. Alina stepped closer, eyes fierce. You're the only reason she's smiling again. You walk away, she loses you like she lost her dad. You want that. He didn't answer. Silence stretched between them. Finally, he sighed. I just want her safe. She is safe, Alina said softly, with you. 3 days later, the storm got worse. A tabloid ran a hit piece. Who is Jordan Blackwell? Tragic past, missing wife, dead child. Is he fit to be near a billionaire's daughter? Social media exploded. Supporters called him a hero. Critics called him dangerous. And then the unthinkable happened. It was 10:12 p.m. when Alina's phone rang. Mrs. Pierce, the nanny whispered, panicked. Tessa, she's gone. Alina's heart dropped into her stomach. What do you mean gone? I stepped out for water, came back, her room was empty. She took her teddy bear and her sketchbook. The phone slipped from Alina's hand. She called security, police, everyone. Then she dialed one number first. Jordan, Tessa's missing. He slammed on the brakes so hard his tires screeched. How long? 30 minutes. What did she take? Her bear, her sketchbook. He already knew where she was, the abandoned Pierce Global building, the place her father used to work, the place she once told him she wanted to visit to feel close to Dad. Jordan turned the car around and floored it. Jordan races to the abandoned skyscraper alone, convinced he knows where Tessa went. But what he finds inside that dark building will change all three of their lives forever. The city streets were empty as Jordan floored it through Manhattan. Red lights, speed limits. None of it mattered. All he could see was Tessa's face, curled up in fear, clutching that crooked teddy bear. He knew where she went. The old Pierce Global headquarters. The building her dad used to run before the new glass tower was built. She once told him, that's where his memories live. He should have known this would happen. The old skyscraper looked like a ghost, rusted sign, dark windows, boarded doors. He parked, jumped out, and ran to the side entrance. The janitor door. Old habits die hard. Come on, he muttered, sliding in with an old spare key. Inside it was pitch black. His footsteps echoed through empty marble halls. Tessa, he called out, no answer. He climbed stairs 2 at a time, 3rd floor, 4th, 5th. Her dad's old office was on 5. He pushed the door open. A faint flashlight glow flickered in the corner. There she was, curled up on the floor, teddy bear in her arms, sketchbook open beside her. Tessa, he rushed over and dropped to his knees, pulling her into a hug. You scared the heck out of me. She started crying. I just wanted to find my dad. His heart cracked. This is where he worked, she whispered. I thought if I came here I'd feel him again. He held her tight. I get it, kid, I really do. I don't want to forget him, she said through tears. What if I forget his voice? Jordan swallowed hard. You won't. He's part of you. You got his eyes, his smile, his stubborn streak. She sniffed. But I want him here. He whispered, me too. I want my son here every day. They sat in the dark office, 2 broken hearts beating side by side. Then footsteps echoed in the hallway. Flashlights cut through the darkness. Isabel, Alina's voice cracked. She rushed in, heels clicking, security and cops behind her. She dropped to her knees and hugged her daughter so tight it looked like she'd never let go. You scared me to death, she whispered. Don't ever do that again. I wanted Daddy, Tessa sobbed. Alina's eyes filled with tears. Me too, baby, me too. Then Tessa looked at Jordan. But I have Mom and Uncle Jordan. The words hung in the air. Alina looked at him, eyes soft. Thank you for finding her. He shook his head. She found me first. The next morning, Alina called a press conference. The media storm was getting ugly and she was done hiding. She stepped up to the podium, cameras flashing like fireworks. "My daughter lost her father 3 months ago," she said. "I tried everything: money, experts, medicine. Nothing worked." She paused. "Then I met Jordan Blackwell. He's not a therapist, he's not certified. He's a man who understands grief. And because of him, my daughter is laughing again." A reporter shouted, "Aren't you worried he's unsafe?" Alina stared straight into the camera. "My daughter is safer than she's ever been. Sometimes you don't need a degree, you need a heart." The internet exploded. Some people called her brave, others called her crazy. But one thing was clear: Jordan Blackwell was no longer invisible. But when Alina offers Jordan a permanent role in her daughter's life and a brand new program in his son's name, Jordan will face the hardest decision of his life: step into the spotlight or disappear again forever. The world changed for Jordan Blackwell overnight. 1 week ago, he was the invisible janitor on the 30th floor. Now his name was trending. News channels debated him. Social media split into teams: number Team Jordan and number Protect the Billionaire Kid. Some called him a hero, others called him a walking red flag. Jordan hated all of it. He liked being unseen. Alina Pierce called him into her private office again, but this time it wasn't cold and corporate. No boardroom, no assistants, just 2 cups of coffee and city lights pouring through the glass. "I want to build something," she said. He raised an eyebrow. "You already run a billion-dollar company." "This is different." She slid a folder across the desk. "A program for kids dealing with grief, trauma, loss, real pain, not corporate nonsense." He opened it. Project name: Ethan's Light. His breath stopped. "You named it after my son," he whispered. She nodded. "You keep his memory alive every time you make a toy, every time you tell a story." "I want his light to help other kids." Jordan's hands shook. "I'm just a janitor," he said. "I don't run programs." "You're a teacher who got crushed by life," she corrected. "And you still found a way to heal someone else. That's leadership." He stared at the city skyline, fighting tears. That afternoon he told Tessa. "Your mom wants me to help other kids," he explained. Her eyes lit up. "Like me?" "Yeah, like you." She thought for a second. "Then Ethan will help them too," he smiled. "How's that?" "Because you make stories for Ethan and stories help people." That hit harder than any board meeting, but not everyone was cheering. The board freaked out. "This is PR suicide," one director snapped. "Putting a traumatized former janitor in charge of a mental health initiative." Alina didn't even blink. "He's the only one who worked." Jordan didn't sleep that night. He sat in his tiny apartment staring at Ethan's photos. "Am I allowed to be happy again?" he wondered. He whispered, "I don't want to replace you, buddy. I just don't want to drown anymore." For the first time in 6 years, the darkness didn't answer back. A month later, Ethan's Light opened. No fancy labs, no marble floors, just a warm room, rugs, handmade toys, soft lights. 3 kids showed up the first day. A boy who lost his mom to cancer. A girl stuck in a brutal divorce battle. A quiet kid bullied at school. Jordan sat on the floor with them. He didn't lecture. He told a story. Once upon a time, there was a little star who thought it wasn't bright enough to matter. The kids listened like the world outside vanished. In the corner, Tessa held another girl's hand and whispered, "It's okay. Uncle Jordan helped me. He'll help you." Jordan almost cried right there. Later, Alina sat beside him after everyone left. "Do you regret stepping back into the world?" she asked. He thought for a moment. "No, loving again doesn't erase the past, it just gives it meaning." She nodded. "You saved my daughter." He shook his head. "She saved me." But as Ethan's Light grows and Jordan becomes a public figure, the past he tried to bury will resurface, threatening to tear down everything he built and force him to confront the one person he never expected to see again. Jordan thought he'd finally outrun the ghosts. He was wrong. Ethan's light went viral. Parents started calling from all over the country. Donations rolled in. Celebrities posted clips of Jordan reading stories to grieving kids. The janitor nobody noticed had become the face of hope, and that terrified him. One afternoon, while he was cleaning up after a session, a volunteer coordinator rushed in. Jordan, there's a woman asking for you. Says it's urgent. Tell her to schedule an appointment, he said, stacking toy blocks. She said her name is Sarah. The blocks slipped from his hands. His heart stopped. Sarah, his wife. The woman who died in the crash. The woman he buried. He walked to the lobby like he was heading into a nightmare. She stood there. Older, thinner, but unmistakable, same hazel eyes, same nervous smile. "Hey, Jordy," she whispered. The world tilted. "Sarah," his voice cracked. You're dead." She swallowed hard. "Yeah, about that." He stared at her like she was a ghost glitching in reality. They sat in a private room. She twisted her hands, avoiding his eyes. "I wasn't supposed to survive," she said quietly. "The doctors declared me dead at the scene. I woke up days later in a hospital 2 states away. Severe amnesia. They thought I was a Jane Doe." Jordan's head was spinning. "Why didn't you come back?" She laughed bitterly. "I didn't remember you, or Ethan, or my life. By the time my memory started coming back, I looked you up and saw the funeral, the news about Ethan. I thought you moved on. I thought I didn't deserve to walk back into your life like a walking trauma bomb." He clenched his fists. "You thought disappearing was better." "I was scared," she whispered. "I thought you'd hate me." He stared at the floor. 6 years of grief, 6 years of nightmares, and she was alive the whole time. Alina found him later that day, sitting on the steps outside, staring into nothing. "You okay?" she asked softly. "My wife is alive." She froze. "That's a lot." "Yeah, that's one way to put it." Sarah came to Ethan's light the next day. She watched him read to the kids, watched Tessa hug him, watched Alina laugh beside him. "You built something beautiful," she said quietly. "I didn't know if I should even come." "You should have come 6 years ago," he said. She nodded, tears in her eyes. "I know." That night, Jordan stood in Ethan's old room holding a picture frame. He whispered, "What do I do, buddy?" His life was finally moving forward, but the past had just walked back in. As Sarah begs for a second chance and Alina fights to keep the family she rebuilt, Jordan will be forced to choose between the woman he lost and the life he finally found, leading to a decision that shocks everyone and changes 3 lives forever. What if the billionaire's daughter chose the janitor over her own mother? Jordan sat between 2 worlds. One was the past, Sarah, the woman he married, the woman he buried, the woman who walked back into his life like a miracle and a curse. The other was the present, Alina, the billionaire who rebuilt her daughter's heart, and the little girl who called him Uncle Jordan. And now he had to choose. Sarah sat across from him in the quiet room at Ethan's light. "I'm not asking you to erase your new life," she said softly. "I just want a chance to be part of it. I lost 6 years. I lost my son. I lost you." Jordan stared at her. "You lost us because you disappeared." "I didn't disappear on purpose," she whispered. "I was lost, and when I found myself again, I was terrified you'd hate me." He clenched his jaw. "I don't hate you. I hate what happened." Later, Alina waited for him on the rooftop. "You don't have to choose," she said. "Yes, I do," he replied. She looked at the city lights. "I never planned to fall for you. I never planned for Tessa to love you this much. But if Sarah is alive, she deserves her place in your story." He looked at her. "You're okay with that?" She smiled sadly. "I want my daughter happy. If that means sharing the people we love, so be it." That night, Tessa made the decision for everyone. She sat on the floor with her teddy bear, Jordan on one side, Sarah on the other, Alina watching from the doorway. "I think families can be big," she said simply. "Daddy said love doesn't run out." Jordan felt his heart explode. Sarah cried. Eleanor smiled. Months later, Ethan's Light became a nationwide program. Sarah joined as a volunteer therapist after retraining. Eleanor funded centers across the country. Jordan became the storyteller who helped thousands of kids survive grief. And every night he told Ethan's story, not as a tragedy, but as a light that never went out. Sometimes, losing everything is the only way to find a bigger family than you ever dreamed of.